It's finally here, the first Hell is Real Derby. Tom Glarder, Alex Steck, we are in Columbus, Ohio. Tommy, this has been a day we have long
Hell is
awaited.
real? I thought this was the Alex Steck Derby. No? Hell is real?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Too many people involved.
I was going to say, there's going to be a lot of people involved. They'll probably have a tifo for you or something to
Probably not.
welcome you back. No? Not to Columbus? Maybe
I
not.
don't think so.
Not
I
if you're
don't
wearing
think
orange
so.
and blue for this one. But that's okay. We're glad to have Alex in orange and blue. And we're glad to finally be here. 2 matchups. Cincinnati and Columbus in
Yeah,
16
within 2
days.
weeks,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, right? 2 weeks from Sunday will be the matchup at Nippert Stadium. But first things first, this one here in Columbus, 2 teams who, trying to get right, get out of the bottom of the table in the Eastern Conference. Columbus has kind of found their form as of late.
Yeah.
So it's a very intriguing matchup for me. And, of course, a lot of new faces for FC Cincinnati in the last 8 days.
Yeah, the orange and blue are looking like a new squad, and they have a new man at the helm. Throughout the week.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it on Sunday when we had him on the live show at Nippert Stadium that we did as part of FanFest. That was an awesome Sunday evening, right? And we saw that personality, right? That big smile. And he's learning more English. He already speaks. And I really like the balance where he'll make them laugh and he's going to have very serious with his club. I'm very excited to see him at the helm and lead FC Cincinnati for the first time tonight.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail, and that's something you need when you're a new head coach coming in. You don't want to just say, that's okay. Pay attention to those details, call the guys out, work on the little things. And he even talked about that earlier this week. Johan Daime did a fantastic job when he served as interim head coach. And they're not looking to change a ton of things, not looking to reinvent the wheel, but there are some changes, some things they're focusing on tonight that hopefully we'll end up seeing.
Yeah, and it's been interesting because over the last week we've learned a lot of details, right? And of a secretive visit back on July 6th that, believe it or not, Ron Jans was at Nippert Stadium alongside 26,000 people for that game against Houston, which was a great win for FC Cincinnati. And ever since then, since he agreed to be the coach, and obviously all the international paperwork was being worked out, which is what you have to do when you bring on a Dutch manager. There's work visas and everything that have to be government, that he was in contact with Johan. Johan knew what was going on. He knew what was going on. He was watching all the games. He was watching practice film, getting to know the club, and Johan was doing a lot of what he is going to do moving forward. So they were building towards this move, building towards tonight. And we as I said, we've learned a lot in the last week about what went on behind the scenes to get to the point where Ron was hired, officially announced on Monday morning at his press conference, and then of course makes his debut tonight.
Yeah, a big test. The Derby match, his first one, doesn't get much bigger than that. Some people are saying this is our biggest game of the season, but it's obviously the most competitive in this Ohio Derby little rivalry here. But we're going to talk more about the match coming up, as well as I want to give a shout out to Fourth Floor Creative, Tommy G and his crew.
It's a big night.
Tonight are the Emmys. There are 4 nominations for these guys, so hopefully bring home some silverware and 3 points.
Yeah, we're thinking 4 trophies, 3 points tonight, and it's going to be
a
a heck of a successful evening for everybody involved. So we'll be keeping on the festivities in Louisville from the side, and hopefully get some good news from the guys down there, and hopefully get some great news up here in Columbus.
Right.
And it'll be good for everybody.
Well, best of luck to your team.
Thank
so
you.
Columbus, Cincinnati facing each other twice in 2 weeks, like we mentioned. They're coming to Nippert Stadium on the 25th, and that's the second of back-to-back home matches for FCC. Before that, they're hosting NYCFC on the 17th, and that night is Salute to Service for first responders.
Yeah, it's gonna be
nice
awesome.
recognition.
And they're giving 100 or some plus tickets to local first responders and military personnel. So that's very awesome. Should be a lot of fun, but great opportunities to be at Nippert after this one's done. I think we're going to see a little orange and blue in the stands tonight. Just a little bit. Yeah, probably.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pandemonium in the Queen City. FC Cincinnati. New York City FC. Ever driving in, ever scoring in 5 appearances. FC Cincinnati is back home August 17th to host New York City FC. Grab your ticket today by visiting FCCincinnati.com or by calling 513-977-5425.
Massive. Massive. You know what I mean? I think they were like tours away, so that it's going to be really exciting playing against my former coach, my coach from Akron, so that's something to try go over there and prove a point, so hopefully, but as I said, it's not just for me, it's for the entire club, we need to start pick up points.
I feel the same. I think it's going to be an important game for us to change what we did in the last game. We're going to go there, we're going to fight, we're going to try to give everything to bring back the 3 points or at least a point.
I mean, every game is excited. Every game is excited. Every game you want to get 3 points. Columbus is no different. We just have to approach that game as the same mentality as the rest of the game. We want to win, and we go out there and we stick together and work hard and hope for a positive result.
Welcome back into the pre-match meeting where we're talking about FC Cincinnati facing the Columbus Crew in tonight's Hell is Real Derby. And some of the guys talking about that matchup and the rivalry among these Ohio teams, Darren Maddox, Alvis Powell, and also Fernando Adi, all coached by Caleb Porter at some point in their career. Darren Maddox was at Akron University.
Yeah.
And Alvis Powell, Fernando Adi, those guys raised a trophy here in Columbus in 2015, the MLS Cup. It broke my heart that night, but
yes,
no hard feelings.
No hard feelings there for Caleb Porter's MLS Cup. Obviously, a lot of experience there, and it's interesting. Obviously these clubs have met once before. I was watching some film. I saw somebody in the background when GB scored the game-winning goal.
He sent me a picture. It's great.
A screen capture as I was going through clips for broadcast this week. Caught somebody in a yellow dress. Glad that yellow dress has been retired, and we will not see that tonight. But that's neither here nor there. But when you look at it, right, like there's definitely a lot of storylines. As we've gone through them. We don't really have enough time to get into them all. There's new signings, there's new faces, there's a new head coach, and then there's this great rivalry between Cincinnati and Columbus and an insanely memorable first meeting 2 years ago at Nippert Stadium on June 14th of 2017. So, there's not a lot of guys left for either side from that matchup. Columbus has more. FC Cincinnati only has 2 guys who played in that game. They're still on the roster. One, of course, is Jimmy McLaughlin, and he is not available, out for the season with his knee injury, and the other is Justin Hoyt, who certainly is available for tonight. And then when you look at Columbus, a lot of the guys who played in that game in 2017 are hurt now. Waylon Francis is hurt, so we may not see him tonight. Hector Jimenez is hurt. They both played. Will Trapp played 90 minutes in that game. I imagine we will see Will Trapp tonight against FC Cincinnati. But, I'm sure the supporters all still remember what happened 2 years ago, and plenty of storylines into this one.
Absolutely. And Columbus has struggled at times throughout this season, but as of late, they found their form. Since the beginning of January, him and Tim Bezbachenko, they had a own team, make this their team, but they've brought in a lot. And I think is someone we could see tonight as well. Caleb brought him over from Portland. So when you look at the midfield, they lost Federico Higuain early on in the season.
Yes.
Tore his ACL, very unfortunate for him, but he was one of their playmakers. Same thing happened with Milton Valenzuela. Ending injuries. Very, very good for them. Made 7 starts. And then you look at Pedro Santos is having a good year. Last year wasn't so strong for him, but he's got 7 goals, 3 assists. And I think he's another player, him or Luis, who could kind of fill in that number 10 role. They have
one, right? Zardes and, of course, Will Trapp. And a lot of changes from head coach all the way through. Of course, the major change at goalkeeper now. They've brought in Aloy Room, who's a guy that went 0-8-1 for 2 months from the middle of May to the like they got another guy, Yunus Mokhtar, who's Yep.
player, familiar with Kendall Waston,
Yes.
Alan Cruz. He's another young DP for them, but had an assist last weekend, made his first start in San Jose. He's had 2 assists this year, and both of them
right? Do we see a high-scoring affair?
Midwest. No, and also I do think, taking advantage of Columbus's back line, does homegrown player Alex Cronali step in there? Jonathan Mensah returned last week. He's been injured. You have Harrison Off on the wing who likes to get forward, but in that
Right.
so don't know how serious it is for him, but could be a good matchup for FCC. We're going to talk more about the orange and blue when we come back.
Some new faces.
Ron Jans, yeah.
Yeah, including the head coach.
Stay with us.
Pandemonium in the Queen City. FC Cincinnati. New York City FC. Ever driving in, Ever scored in 5 appearances. FC Cincinnati is back home August 17th to host New York City FC. Grab your ticket today by visiting FCCincinnati.com or by calling 513-977-5425.
Now, right? Battle Wi-Fi to bring this to you. Here on the roof in Columbus, we find where we have Wi-Fi. You know where there's not Wi-Fi? By that cornfield by Hell is Real. I'm fairly confident that wouldn't have worked, but I appreciate the effort and the desire to have us do it from there. It would have been fun.
Going down 71, but the first ever time they met.
Live show today. We could have flown him in from Senegal, where I think he is. Charlie Hatch had a nice piece with him this week. But yeah, in 2017, I'm sorry, it was June 14th, my wedding anniversary. That's how I spent my wedding anniversary in 2017 was with the first ever Hell is Real matchup between Cincinnati and Columbus. And you kind of came in and were like, all right, this is cool. It's a Major League Soccer team. Don't get embarrassed. See what happens. And the longer that game went on, and you mentioned Higuain, and he played really well that match and had a lot of chances, right? He just missed over and over. All hell kind of broke loose, right?
Saw the Columbus fans.
to win that game. And Greg Berhalter was very complimentary to the atmosphere there. And that was the night that first touch.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's a
Of course we have a rivalry. This is professional soccer.
Cincinnati able to keep it alive. Boyd going to swing across. GB gets his head on straight up into the air. GB goal! Higuain with a shot and it goes high. A slain Goliath at Nippert Stadium. First ever Ohio Derby.
Pretty excited.
weren't ready.
Obviously, that was a great moment 2 years ago at Nippert Stadium. I'm really excited to have this game twice in a 16-day period here in August. So 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll do it again at Nippert. But first things first, tonight here in Columbus, FC Cincinnati and the Columbus Crew. Hell was real, and I mean, what else do you need to say?
Yeah. Did an excellent job. He had 15 games, including Open Cup play, where he was the interim head coach. He became the youngest into a very, very tough situation.
Is that total the entire time? But
I don't blame him.
and Ron alluded to it. I feel like I had the this week, or you saw Jack Stern. All
Got to he now him he
Has been get back to America. He worked out the deal with FC Cincinnati, have him be able to help this team, and he's fit, guys. Like, it's not, you look at it, he hit it where either so yeah, the numbers are there, and that's not very good and very comfortable. He'll have number 96, the year he was born in.
Yeah.
And certainly someone who can be involved. So a lot of good pieces there for FC Cincinnati as they get ready for this one tonight.
Yeah, definitely some late hours put in by the technical staff
Yes.
to get these deals done, especially on deadline day. With
What
the
a
two
kick, guys,
but-
too. At
Yes,
6 is, so they were a little
exactly.
short on. Everybody's in scramble. Technical staff is in scramble mode to get the deals
Right,
done
get it
to
done.
set everybody else.
Right, guys?
Yeah,
Hopefully not.
it's all. What do they say? Organized chaos, right?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Also, familiarity with the USL, also familiar with FCC, but he talked about the people and how nice everyone is here. So that's
Yeah.
refreshing for him, and need to play in his natural right back position. Almost the 90 minutes of every game. There's only
Yeah.
one match.
I think
where
he's
he
only
subbed
been at
out
right
in
back 5
Minnesota.
times. I have
Yeah,
it here.
so we need him, at right back.
Where on the feels more comfortable on the right side. So now when you bring in Andrew Gutman, and now you have Greg, certainly put in blue, and you have 2 left backs, and that's huge. Have opportunity, especially because the schedule condenses. There's only 8 weeks left, so there's a couple midweek games coming up, so there's going to have to be some natural rotation, guys. And it gives opportunity to put a left back. He's been a warrior for FCC. We chatted with him this week on Chasing the Dream. The story, and that's why we have these conversations. He's like, look, I was like,
I know
man,
how that is.
I want to play for the Hoosiers, but I know where I stand,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm pretty. You didn't.
I didn't win the
Mac
Herman
Herman
Trophy
on the women's side on the way out.
No, can't say that.
but look, that's a great story from a NCAA Division I soccer, and that dream lasted like 6 hours or however long until Major League Soccer squashed the deal, and he's now on loan to FC Cincinnati for the next year. The Mac Herman Trophy, and or not even 7 months. It was early. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting night for the orange and blue with be a pretty significant number of people headed in
Okay.
to the stadium. Final words from our new head coach.
Or maybe would you have preferred a road match